Hey everybody, it's Mike. I'm back, and I'm going to do another show and talk about Krishna, bogus gurus, how the cult harms children, women, children, and everybody, women, and children. Okay, it abuses everybody, and I'm going to give you some updates, and we're going to watch some videos, a whole bunch of stuff going on, and so yeah. So let's get right to it. I'm going to start with the opening. Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
All right, so I am back, and this is where class. I always forget to ring the bell. The class has started, and this is where we ask questions, and we want our answers. And if you ask questions, this is where I ask questions, and I want answers. And if you have questions, you can ask me, and
Now! Right now! I want to ask my questions now, and I want to have my answers now. You hear?
yes, we want to ask our questions, and we want to have our answers. Okay. Hey, Trey, Martin Watts. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you again. We're here for the class. Okay, great. Okay, great. Because I got a lot of stuff, and this is gonna be. I got some stuff. Okay, so before I get into the Giriraj stuff, I just want to show you regarding the $400 million sexual abuse lawsuit that the children won against ISKCON. Now, the guy who defended them, I was recommended by a fellow friend to join your live class. Okay, great. That's great. Awesome. I want to thank your friend for, you're another fellow American. Yes, I'm American. I'm not in the U.S. right now, but I was 20 years in the Hare Krishna, so I know all about it. I'm not some wacko. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. So the $400 million lawsuit that the children won against ISKCON was then the amount was appealed because they have that right to appeal the ruling. The amount. The guy who defended them in the appeal is a guy named Alan Dershowitz, who he's an Epstein Island guy. Okay, he's an Epstein Island guy. Let's see. The word is going around. The word is going around. Okay. Hey, what can you do? I can't help it. I can't help it. So yeah. So this is the Epstein Island guy. He's the Alan Dershowitz. He was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein. He went to the island all the time. He admits to getting massages from young girls on Epstein Island. Alan Dershowitz. This is the guy who defended ISKCON in their $400 million child sexual abuse lawsuit. You can't make this shit up. So I wanted to show you this video of him so you can see who this guy is and why he's in the news now. Here we go.
Yeah, well said. This is the first Trump scandal I know of where the opposition to Trump is being led by his base, not by liberals, not by the left. Democrats have been very late to this story. It's his own people who are pissed at him. And as you say, look, there's only two options here. One is Trump and his crew lied to these people, made fools of them, brought them to the water's edge, as you say, tried to get votes off of a child abuse scandal, cynically, and then said, oh, there's nothing there is no file, even though Pam Bondi said it's sitting on my desk in February. Or there's the other scary scenario that Donald Trump, the President of the United States, is implicated in a child sex abuse scandal, which, of course, Elon Musk, his top donor, has said. He says Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. No less a figure than his top donor and former government ally has said that. So that's a pretty big scandal. Then you've got Alex Acosta, who was Trump's labor secretary. He's the guy who signed off on the sweetheart deal that Alan Dershowitz negotiated for Epstein in 2008. Acosta says, I was told to lay off Epstein because he's with the intelligence services. Those are the words of Alex Acosta, apparently. He wasn't told by me. So, interestingly, whether he worked for the CIA or whether he worked for Mossad, and of course he had ties to Israel. He was best friends with Ehud Barak. He lived in Israel. He invested in Israeli companies.
Later.
Like he had ties to Israel. I'm not saying he's in Mossad, but he definitely had ties to Israel.
Later.
And the administration should come out and clarify. The administration should clarify. Last point I'd make is this. We talked about Alan being a lawyer for Epstein, and he can choose who he wants to represent. But more than just being a lawyer, Alan was a friend of Epstein's and a friend of Ghislaine Maxwell, and went to the mansion and went on the plane. I'm not suggesting any wrongdoing, but I'm questioning Alan's judgment on this and many other issues.
Alan
So
Followood.
the president of Harvard was a friend. Professors were friends. Bill Gates was a friend. Jeffrey Epstein attracted a great many people. He used to have these seminars. Nobody knew he was doing anything wrong. Nobody knew he was doing anything wrong. Once people found out he was accused of doing things wrong, they terminated their relationship with him, as I did. You can't blame somebody for being friendly with somebody.
You got him a great deal.
I represented him as a lawyer. He didn't think was a good deal. He refused to pay me my fee because he thought I had gotten him a terrible deal because he ended up in prison and having to sign in as a sex offender. So he didn't think it was a great deal. I thought it was a pretty good deal. That's my job as a lawyer. I'll always try to get the best deal for my clients no matter what.
Okay, so he defends himself, but Mehdi Hassan brings up a great point. He says, I have to question your judgment. You went to the island, you're on the island. He admits to getting massages on the island from young girls. He says there was no sexual activity, but he admits he was there getting massages from young girls. He'll go that far. He'll go that far because he doesn't want to lose his law license, evidently, for whatever reason. Alan Dershowitz. All right, he defended Epstein. He defended Jeffrey Epstein. And he went to the island and he knew what was going on. He says he doesn't know what was going on, but come on, he's going to the island, he's getting massages from young girls. He's friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And he chooses to represent him in his sexual abuse or child trafficking or whatever legal problems Jeffrey Epstein had. Alan Dershowitz chooses to represent him. And he chooses to represent ISKCON in their child abuse lawsuit. So this is the guy that ISKCON got to defend them in their child abuse lawsuit. A guy who was going to Epstein. He admits he went to Epstein Island. He admits he got massages from young girls on Epstein Island. He defended Epstein in court, was Epstein's lawyer. This is the guy that ISKCON got to defend them. I just want to get that straight. I just want to get that out there. Okay, it's not a secret. It's not like I'm breaking some secret. This is just legal. This is just information. That's the guy. So the next thing I want to move on to the next thing. And the next thing is, here we go. It's my favorite lady, knitting cult lady. And she has something to say that I thought was pertinent, and I wanted to share it with everybody. So here we go, with the knitting cult lady.
I'm going to second this. When we're talking about trauma and traumatic situations, please stop with the narrative of like, yeah, it was bad, it was a cult, it was wacky maybe, but we survived. Because you know what? We don't all survive. Not everyone who went to the Troubled Teen industry, what we were talking about here, is alive today. My brother, who grew up in the Children of God, like me, did not survive, is not alive today, right? And when I tell you, even kids from the Children of God cult have this conversation. Yeah, it was wacky, but we survived and we had some fun growing up around the world. Like, stop. We didn't all survive, right? One of the highest costs that we pay, for people in cults pay, is suicidality and taking their own lives. We see it everywhere. Anytime I'm wondering if a group is not a cult, when I was studying Zappos and I wasn't sure yet, then I started seeing the suicides, right? I believe this is because human beings can't live masked 100% of the time. And the more you don't fit the cult, the more you're having to repress your true personality, the harder that is going to be on you. And some of us, quite frankly, die after we leave the situation, the traumatic situation. The Children of God suicide rate has been compared to Holocaust survivors. That's not saying it was the same level of bad, but that is saying there are some things from which humans don't recover from, even once they're safe. So if you are someone who is here with us today and you have survived a terrible situation, one, it doesn't mean it wasn't that bad. Please don't say that. And two, not everybody probably survived. And it's not just suicide. There's a lot of accidental deaths from risky living, and there's a lot of early deaths from autoimmune disorders and other things related to trauma, including, let's remember that cancer is an autoimmune disorder. So it is literally almost never as simple as like, oh, it was wacky, but we survived, right? That gives, I was hit as a child and I turned out fine. Like, no, you didn't. You turned into someone that thinks it's okay to hit children, right? Like, we didn't all survive. We're not all going to survive this waltz with cults that we are going through right now in America, and we're not all going to survive the cult of MAGA, right? Not everybody survives cults. That's why they're such a big deal, and that's why I do this work. I'm Danielle, a scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership. I wrote a book called Uncultured about growing up in the Children of God religious cult and then going into the cult of the United States Army. You can get signed copies here or listen to me read it to you on Spotify Premium or anywhere else you get your audiobooks.
Okay, so I highly recommend you watching her videos. If you're interested in knowing more about cults, if you're in the Hare Krishnas and you want to know more about cults, definitely you should watch her video. She is excellent, and she says a lot of the same things I say. I've been doing this for about a year. I just recently found her. She says a lot of the same things I'm saying. And I'm no expert. She's the expert. She's written books. I've never written a book. But we're on the same track because she says everything I say. And so anyway, watch her videos. No wonder so many Hare Krishna devotees commit suicide. I know of 2 ex-Hare Krishna women who are suicidal at the moment. Exactly. And that's why I thought that this video was very important to share. She is awesome. I'm going to watch her videos. Yes, definitely not now. Watch mine, but then afterwards go watch her video. But she is really good. She's really good. Now, but when she said the thing about not everybody survives, she's absolutely right. And the other thing is about you can't wear a mask 100% of the time. You can't live your life like that. You just can't. Now, that doesn't mean you can't take on a spiritual life and want to, change your life and let's say you're a shady person, in your 20s and 30s, but then, you change and then you become more respectable and you get your head together and now you got a nice job and a family and you're not. That's okay. That's it's not what we're talking about. Okay. But Hare Krishna is when these people that have like committed suicide, like my friend Jog Jivan, and I think like he was just a gay man, but he was pretending not to be a gay man, but he was obviously gay because he was gay. He could only pretend so much, and then he's living like a Hare Krishna. He's for I don't know how many years, 30 years, 20 years, 30 years. He's playing this game, and he can't take it anymore, and he kills himself. Rather than just leaving the cult because he's brainwashed and he can't leave, so he kills himself. Same thing with my friend Janardana. He wasn't a friend in the same way that Jog Jivan was my friend. Jog Jivan wasn't a friend like he was my buddy, but he was a friend, and Janardana was a friend too. And Janardana killed himself just over the stress of this cult politics, which is just completely imaginary and made up. But the brainwashing is so strong that this guy killed himself over nothing. And all the children that have killed themselves. And this person in my chat right now says, I know 2 ex-Hare Krishnas that are suicidal right now. Because it is it is traumatizing. It is traumatic. It is PTSD. I spent 20 years. I gave up 20 years of my life for this bullshit. And I come out of it at 50 years old going, what the fuck happened to 20 years? Now, I got on with my life. I started doing whatever. I tried to move on. But what if I was a weaker person mentally? I was not so strong internally. What if I was a little weaker person? And I wanted revenge. Or I got into a depression and I killed myself. Or I went and I killed somebody else. Went and shot up the temple. Or did something horrible. Because in my mind, I'm not strong enough to just move on with my life. Because, hey, I gave up 20 years. You know, I was 30, now I'm 50. Gave up my career. Gave up my everything. I just moved on. And now I'm doing this. After 13 years, 12 years being out, then I decided I'm gonna do this. But I just moved on. Janardana couldn't move on. Jog Jivan couldn't move on. A lot of these kids that grew up in it, they can't move on. It's too traumatizing. It's too much. It's too much. So she's absolutely right when she says, you know, hey, wasn't that crazy? We survived. We were in a cult. We survived, and I understand that sentiment. I mean, I understand that. But I also understand what she's saying is like, not everybody survives. Not everybody's going to survive. There are people in harm's way right now. There's children right now that are being harmed in this cult. And there's children that aren't going to survive. There's little kids right now being molested in this cult that are going to grow up with problems, and some of them, I hope not, but statistics will say some of them may kill themselves because of the trauma. Every year I hear about 1 or 2 devotees, ex-devotees, or devotees, or children that commit suicide over a fake, fraudulent cult masquerading as an ancient tradition, religion from 5,000 years ago that thinks a demon head is eating the moon. A demon head is eating the moon. These guys go to Harvard. They get a degree from Harvard. And they still think that there's a demon head eating the moon. Because they're so brainwashed. They can go to one of the top schools on the planet. And they come out of it still believing that there's a demon head eating the moon. Or that there's a guy playing a flute and the sound goes into the head of the ear of a four-headed guy who's growing on a flower that grows out of the navel of a big four-armed guy who's laying on a snake who's his brother while they float on an ocean of milk. And universes come out of his body as he sweats. But he's got a friggin' Harvard degree. He's got a friggin' Harvard degree. He thinks the Earth is flat and there's an elephant in orbit keeping it steady so it doesn't flip over on its side. That's what these guys fucking believe because they're so fucking brainwashed. Their brains are mush. The guy says, I want scientific evidence for why stitched clothing is not allowed on the altar, but he doesn't want any scientific evidence for the fucking demon head eating the moon. And that's the guy that went to Harvard, okay? The guy went to Harvard. He wants to know why I can't wear a shirt on the altar scientifically. But he didn't give a fuck about the demon head eating the moon. Fucking Harvard educated guy. Fucking explain that to me. Explain that to me. Somebody in the comments explain that to me. One lives with PTSD, became an alcoholic. She was publicly shamed for having a brahmachari fall in love with her and reporting her to temple authorities, rejecting her in public. They live in a crazy world. It's always the woman's fault. I'm going to tell you that right now. Anything, if they could fall in love and he could be, but it's always the woman's fault for them getting involved together, for the love, for the relationship, for the everything. It's always the woman. It's never anything. The women never do anything good in this religion, in this cult. It's not even a religion. It's a cult. They treat women like shit on purpose because their teachings tell them to. There's 3 things that you can do that you can beat: a dog, a drum, and a woman. That's in their books. 3 things in the world that you're allowed to beat according to God, according to their books. 3 things you can beat: a drum, you can beat a drum, you can beat a dog, and you can beat a woman. Those 3 things. This is their teaching. I don't give a fuck about women. They only recommend getting married. A man to get married is when he can't control himself. So take a wife. Take a wife is what they say. Take one. Just take one. Take a wife. Use her. And then when you're done using her, just throw her to the side, and then you can go off to the forest and go chant Hare Krishna and whatever the fuck. Pieces of shit. That's what they think of women. Children, they think even less. They don't give a fuck about children. They don't give a fuck about anybody until you're older, and then when you can go sell a book for them. Then they care. Other than that, they don't give a fuck. Wait, what does this say? She's not been able to recuperate. She lost her religion, was publicly rejected to make this 33-year-old man feel good about being a celibate monk since birth, falling in love, and chastised by all. Yeah, he couldn't control himself, so it's her fault. Well, she tempted me. She's Maya. Maya's very strong. Fuck you. You're a weak fucking pussy ass piece of shit that can't be around women without fucking freaking out. And then you want to blame the women just for existing. Fuck you, you fucking fraud freak pieces of shit. All of you fucking pieces of shit gurus. He said it all in a nutshell. This is why we are speaking the truth. Yeah, fuck these pieces of shit. Fuck yeah, I'm speaking the truth. I know it because I lived it. I know. I know these pieces of shit. I met them, knew them, worked with them, everything. You can't tell me that these guys aren't pieces of shit. I know them personally. I had dinner with Tamal Krishna. I saw firsthand what a fucking piece of shit he is. They're holy, man. These guys ain't holy. Fucking, they're holy full of shit is what they are. These guys are so full of shit. Pisses me off is what it does. Because innocent people fall for it. Innocent people who are sincerely looking for something in life. For God or spiritual path or something. Sincere, honest, innocent people seriously looking for something. Some people aren't even looking for anything. Some people just get a book in a parking lot and fuck, they weren't even looking for anything. I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking for nothing. The guy whose brother, the guy who comes in my chat, his brother, he wasn't looking for anything. His grandmother passed away. Somebody gave him a book, said, "Hey, here, read this book. Hope it'll cheer you up." Next thing you know, the guy's in India milking a cow. And the family's freaked out because the guy didn't want nothing to do with anybody anymore. The fuck is that? The guy gave up his job, his family. So he go fucking hang out with these freaks that don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. They don't give a shit about nobody. Women, they don't give a fuck about women. Children, they don't give a fuck about children. Children are the last thing they care about. So yeah, so I'm going to get caught up before I get to the other thing. This Rtviks Swami, man. What a fucking hypocrite he is. The whole fucking movement's a hypocritical fucking movement. Their teachings, their gurus, their books, their founder, it's all fucking full of shit. And look at this guy. And then I'm going to go over it. And I'm going to go over it again. This piece of shit.
Sex life is the highest pleasure we accept, highest pleasure in the material world. Sex life is the highest pleasure we accept, highest pleasure in the material world. But then big responsibility is there. Unless you have illicit sex, if your real sex life is meant for begetting children, Krishna says, I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principle in the 7th chapter. He says like that. Have sex life, beget good children, bring them into Krishna consciousness, that's welcome. But 95% of the sex life in this world, I should say 99%, is just for entertainment, right? They're not thinking, they're thinking how to avoid having a child. And if the damn child comes, we'll kill it in the womb. So we have to give up this kind of sex life. No more. It's possible by getting a higher taste in the kirtan. We come here, chant and dance. We're not thinking the women are over there, oh, how pretty they are. No, all the men are here, they're dancing, they're jumping, right? You're not thinking about...
What a piece of shit he is. Did you just hear what he said? This is the 84-year-old guy who's getting married. And what's he getting married for? He's having sex. He's already admitted to having sex. He said he broke his vows. He's been having sex for 6 months. What's he having sex for? So he can have kids? You can tell me that this 84-year-old man wants to have children? And he's just sitting there talking shit because he didn't know that he was going to... And oh yeah, just how do we avoid the sex? How do we avoid the sex for entertainment? We chant Hare Krishna. And what does he end up doing? He ends up falling in love with some woman. Now he's going to get married and go have sex. Is he going to have kids? Does he want to have kids? The fuck? And ISKCON's like, oh yeah, no problem. Hey, no problem. He's going to go back to Ukraine and he's going to go be with his wife. His wife? His wife? So you condone this guy at 84 years old having sex with this young woman? Not for children, because I doubt if he wants to have kids. She's going to be changing, if he has kids, she's going to be changing 2 diapers, his and the kid's diaper. She's going to be feeding him and the kid at the same time. She's going to be like, here, and then, and you too. I'm going to feed you, I'm going to feed you. And then I'm going to change your diaper, and I'm going to change your diaper. What the fuck is going on? And ISKCON's like, yeah, no problem. No problem. And what about his disciples who are like, wait a minute, my guru who was just preaching about that this is wrong, and the way to avoid this is by chanting and having kirtan. Well, obviously it didn't work for him, because all he does is chant and have kirtan. What else does he fucking do but chant and have kirtan? And he can't control his fucking dick. What makes you think someone else could? He can't do it. Fucking ridiculous. Sex life is not for entertainment, he's saying. Well, then what the fuck are you getting married for? Because I know you're not going to have some kids at 84. What are you gonna be doing at 84 with a fucking infant? You're going to be eating the baby food right along with the baby. You're going to be like, here's some, and some for me, and some for you, and some for me. What the fuck? This is such bullshit. And they want you to believe it. Just ignore this guy. Pretend like this ain't happening. Because we're going to ship him back to Ukraine with his wife, and hopefully everyone will just forget about him. He's just another scammer. You mean all the time his disciples were sending him money, thinking he was a pure devotee? He's having sex with this woman, with his disciple? You gotta be fucking kidding me. And ISKCON's like, and ISKCON doesn't kick him out. They just go, hey, no problem. No problem. He broke his vows. He was hiding it from you. He was covering it up. She was covering it up. He was covering it up. It was a conspiracy. How many other people knew what was going on? It was a whole little thing. Keep it hidden for 6 months, 7 months. So it's not bad enough. I mean, hey, it would have been bad enough if he had just said, "Hey, I'm leaving with my 35-year-old disciple. We're running off to Switzerland or wherever gurus run off to." That would have been bad enough. But the fact that he's like, "No, I'm going to just stay with I'm covering it up, and then when I find out about it, you're going to let me stay." Like just slapping the disciples in the face. Like, yeah, just ignore everything that he's been preaching to you for the last 40 years. All that shit about illicit sex and how the holy name burns up karma and how the holy name is this and that and all that. You know, I know he was preaching that, and now he's doing something completely the opposite of what he was preaching. But just pretend like it's not. It's okay. His denture's about to fall out. He already really old. Yeah, he's old. The guy's like 84. He's 84 years old. Here's another perfect example of the brahmacharya syndrome. Rtviks Swami was convinced by ISKCON leaders to do the right thing and marry the girl. He has no love for the girl, trust me. So what, she has no say in the issue? Is that what you're saying? How sad to have wasted your best years thinking you could actually fulfill and accumulate these damn demands from this cult. So I want to get back to what you just said, that, you know, ISKCON leaders asked him to do the right thing and marry the girl. So What about her? Didn't he just ruin her life because he couldn't because he couldn't control his senses by following the rules and regulations and all the things that he was teaching people to do and telling others to do? He couldn't do it. So now he's ruined her life because now she is the woman who had sex with her guru, her 84-year-old guru. I mean, what is this? Is this some kind of transcendental Harold and Maude? There's some kind of weird spiritual Harold and Maude where the young disciple is friggin' insanity. How sad to have wasted your best years thinking you could fulfill. Rtviks Ram, the demands from this cult. It's ridiculous. So this Rtviks Ram, now he's going to marry this girl. But what? So the girl has no say. Does she want to marry this guy? They're not going to have children. So now she's forced to marry him, and I heard by a friend that they put him against the wall to marry her and pretend he is a good person who had a weakness. He had a weakness. So after 60, so let's think about this. So he's chanting Hare Krishna, following regular principles. He's chanting. He's book distribution. He's got disciples. He's really advanced, right? He's like a leader. He's doing all of this stuff for 60 years. For 60 years, he's doing all this stuff, and then he falls down. But it's not a fall down. A fall down is like you fall down. You trip and you fall. Okay, you gotta understand this, okay? This is not a fall down. It's not like he, was in his room and on his phone and he got like a thing and he clicked on it and it took him to a porno site and he was jacking off and he got caught. That's a fall down, okay? That's a legitimate, hey, I got a link and I did. That's a fall down, okay? This was planned. It was planned. It was covered up. He did it for 6 months. That's not a fall down. You don't fall down for 6 months. What you do is you break your vows for 6 months. You just say, I can't do this anymore. And I know it's wrong, but I'm not going to tell anybody. Like, why didn't he, this is the thing. You got to understand this, people. If you're in the cult, you got to understand this. The right thing for him to do would have been to nip this in the bud in the beginning. He should have said, hey, I'm having feelings for her. She has feelings for me. I have feelings for her. And this is wrong. This is wrong. He should have just said it. He should have recognized. He's not smart enough to recognize that he shouldn't be doing this. After all of this chanting and all of these lectures that he's giving, he's sitting on his little chair and he's preaching all this shit to these people, but he doesn't hear it. Oh, sex life is eating your own vomit. When I look at a woman, I spit in disgust at the thought of her. He doesn't hear all the shit that he's been repeating for 60 fucking years. Sex life is like a dog eating its own, licking its own vomit, or blah, 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 and going on and on and on and on. For 60 fucking years, he's been saying this, and then he can't recognize, he's too stupid to go, maybe I shouldn't, he couldn't know. He does the opposite of he does the opposite of this shit. He does the opposite of what he should have done. Is he should have called her up and said, hey, you're my disciple and everything, but obviously, the way you look at me in class, and and my dinghy gets hard, whatever. He should have been the fucking spiritual guru and said, hey, ixnay. No, he did the opposite. He said, hey, I'll meet you out there. Don't let anybody know. Come to my room. You can wash my feet. You can cook my lunch. And then afterwards, you're a little and don't tell anybody. Meet me later. That's not an accident. Having sex with your disciple and no one finding out about it, he had to go through some work. He's got assistants, he's got a schedule, he's got planes to catch and Sankirtan to go on and book distribution. He's got a shopping cart full of books he needs to go sell on the streets of Warsaw or wherever the fuck he is. He had to pull this whole thing off. This is no accidental fall down. This is bullshit. They needed to call him up. They needed to call him up and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Give me your fucking shit. Give me your stick. Give me your clothes. Get the fuck out. No, that they couldn't do. That they couldn't do. Oh, just marry her now. Marry her and, the fuck? Fake ass religion, fake ass gurus, fake ass spirituality, fake ass everything. Fake ass guru board, commission, Shastra advisory committee, and the guru standards committee. All the fucking bullshit. And people fall for it. You people out there fall for this crap. Wait, now I got to get back to these comments. She thought he was gonna drop her. I heard she is pregnant. She probably is pregnant because they ain't using no birth control, right? They ain't using no birth control. He too stupid. Now you got a little Rtviks Jr., a little TK Jr., a little TK, we call him TK, little TK. In 1986, Bhagavan fell down with the wife of our temple president at the time. Yeah, this is nothing new. These guys do this all the time. Been doing this for 40 years, 45 years. This is nothing new. This is why they're pushing for marriage for both of them, so that she doesn't start smear campaign against ISKCON. Well, it's too late for that because I'm already doing that. Fuck ISKCON and their fucking arranged marriage and forcing her to get married and forcing him to marry her. Fucking ruin her life. His life is ruined. He's 86 years old. What the fuck's he gonna do? Leave? The fuck's he gonna do? He's 86 years old. The fuck's he gonna do? Now he's gonna raise a kid. Now he's gonna be grandpa to his own son. Are you my grandpa? No, I'm your dad. Oh, where's grandpa? Grandpa died like 85 years ago. Bhagavan had 2 kids by that woman, then dropped her a few years later, discarded her, and he's the biggest womanizer you've ever come across. A true Prabhupada follower. Bhagavan is another piece of shit. And from what I understand from multiple sources, his kids don't want anything to do with him. Who would? Who would want to have anything to do with all of these pieces of shit? Bogus, everything. And who created this whole mess? Jagat Guru. I like that one. So Yeah, so who created this whole fucking mess? Who fucked up their heads in the first place? Who told this fucking Rtviks Ram, whatever the fuck his name is, that he's a fucking... Who the fuck? Rtviks Swami pretty much took advantage of his disciple, got her pregnant, and now he's afraid to lose his wallet he put into ISKCON for his entire life. Exactly. And that's what I was saying. If you go back and watch other videos that I made, I mean, exactly. He was going to leave ISKCON. Originally, he was going to leave ISKCON. He probably had second thoughts and was like, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm 84 years old. He'd have a few of some of his disciples go with him, but when he did the math, ran the numbers, crunched the numbers, he probably said, nah, it ain't worth it. I'll take them up on their offer. I'll take what's behind door number 2. And door number 2 was, a room in Mayapur when he wants, and a temple in Ukraine or Poland or wherever the fuck he's pretty, I got to go back and watch my video and see what I said, because I'm pretty sure this is exactly what I said. I mean, it's not exactly what I said, but the whole thing about this woman getting pregnant, I mean, I think I joked about it, but I made a lot of jokes about him getting having a kid and everything, but now you're telling me that she might be pregnant. This is not a fucking joke. Now he didn't just ruin his life. I mean, his life is fucked up. But this woman, and the kid, possibly fucking up a third life, a kid who's born into this bullshit, whose dad is a fucked up bogus guru who got his mom pregnant, and it was his son. I mean, oh my God, if I was a kid growing up and learning the story about how'd you meet your mom? How'd you meet mom? How'd you meet dad? Oh my God, what a nightmare that is. You know what? It's like, don't even tell me anymore. I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to hear how you met mom. That's what I want to hear. He had no business. He had no business being a spiritual master. If he couldn't, that's why he needed to cut that shit off. He knew what was going on. He needed to cut that shit off. He's full of shit. 84 years old, chanting Hare Krishna for 60 whatever years, and then lets his disciple fall in love with him. He could have said, hey, you fall in love with me. I mean, I let you wash my feet, and you can wash my underwear, but, I draw the line at that. That's it, Mom, where's Dad here? Is that my granddad? I know. That's what I was saying. It's like these news really shook. Every year something happens. It was Lokanath, and then it was this guru, and then that guru left, and then this guru got caught with kids, and then this happened, and what else? What else, Jerry? What else is going on? What gets me though is like, that's what I said. At 84, your life is pretty much over. That's what I said. If you're over like 65, 70, and you're still in this stupid cult, you might as well stay. You might as well stay. You wasted your life. You ruined your life. You wasted your life. What are you going to do now? You can't even drive a cab at 84. You going to drive Uber? What are you going to deliver food? What are you going to do? Maybe the influencer? What are you going to do? TikTok? I mean, seriously, man. It's just saying, so sad he swallowed that Prabhupada pill and wasted his life away. Yeah, it's sad, but he not only wasted his life, but this woman with this kid, that's possibly his kid, and the kid may have some problems, because that's what happens. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be anything. I'm in a part of the world where there's a lot of older retired men married to younger women, and they have kids. And a lot of these, not a lot, but many of these kids that I see have developmental problems. And I've never noticed it before like this, but I've enough to where I notice it. I've noticed it. You've got older retired men with young women having kids, and these kids have developmental problems. They have developmental problems. I'm just saying. So now there's a chance that this woman could have this kid, and he could need assistance. He could have disabilities. He could have a disability. But not only that, but Dad's not going to be around. So now she's going to be raising this kid. And what's she going to do? She's in this cult. She sells books for a living, or incense, or flowers. So what is she going to do with this kid? By the time he's 10, Maharaj over here is going to be 94. She's going to have a 10-year-old and a 94-year-old to care for. This is insane. And ISKCON is like, yeah, no problem. So you're 84 guru. So you're getting married to you're 35. You're getting married to your 84-year-old guru. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally business as usual. This is fucking insane. This is insanity. Am I the only one? Evidently, I'm the only one on the internet that's like, hey, this is fucked up and it's insane. Nobody else cares. If he's 84 years of age, he should be staying in ISKCON and continue on parading himself as guru and enjoy the good life instead of leaving ISKCON to live a normal life. Yeah, he doesn't even know what a normal life is. There's no normal life for him. He needs to just stay, and he needs to just go. He doesn't even need to go to Ukraine or Poland to preach. He just needs to go to friggin' Mayapur and get in his fucking MVT apartment, and that's it. Chant your Hare Krishna and have sex with your 35-year-old wife, your 35-year-old daughter wife. Mom, your dad is now 94. Son, wow, dad is almost 100. Mom, now go out and sell flowers, books, and his. My mom fell in love with her 84-year-old guru. My mom fell in love with Grandpa, and then I was born. This is like, if it wasn't in ISKCON, everybody'd be talking about this. If this was Anna Nicole Smith and her husband, it'd be on the news. Just because the guy was 84 and she was 25 or whatever. It's no different. But he's a guru. It makes it like a million times worse. It makes it a million times worse because he's an authority figure. This is like, she's a secretary at GM and he's the 84-year-old CEO of GM. And he's sneaking off and banging her for 6 months and nobody knows about it. And then he gets caught. And he's like, oh yeah, well, we're going to get married. I'm going to, she used to be a secretary in the mailroom, but now she's my wife. Now she's the wife of the CEO. So yeah, she was just a disciple, but now she's the wife of the guru. So it's a little bit of an upgrade, I guess, for her. This is fucking insane. So when his disciples come and wash his feet, they gotta wash her feet too, or what? I mean, I don't know. Where is that protocol? Where is that explained in Prabhupada's books? That when your guru marries your god sister, do you worship her first before you worship your guru, or do you worship the girlfriend after you worship your guru? Are there prayers to the guru's girlfriend? Do I say Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Om Bhakti Robin whatever Padaya Krishna Prastaya? Do I put her name in there somehow? I mean, obviously, if my guru is banging her, she must be worshipable. I don't know. I heard she was trying hard to do seva for him. He fell for her charms. No, he fell for her prominent features, is what I was told. She has prominent features, so of course he's going to be attracted to her prashadam. her prashadam was really prominent. I've been seeing Rtviks making claims that they are not a part of ISKCON and does not have pedos or bad folks in their small organizations. I just laugh at how ridiculously brainwashed they are. Well, they are part of ISKCON because they read Prabhupada's books. And Prabhupada makes the claim that anywhere my books are being read, that's ISKCON. So they're definitely part of ISKCON. They're just a political faction. And you can, I don't know if you talk to them, but they're definitely part of ISKCON. They read Prabhupada's books. They follow Prabhupada's instructions. They do everything ISKCON does, except they don't have gurus. They have good enough gurus. So their gurus are just good enough to connect you to Prabhupada. He's the guru. And the Rtviks they're just good enough. They're not really gurus. They're just good enough gurus. So that's, I mean, where is that? I mean, but it doesn't matter because it's all fake and phony. So a good enough guru is good enough. You know, that's what they say, right? You get the guru you deserve. So if you're not good enough, then you get a not good enough guru. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But they protect pedophiles too. They protect pedophiles. Shit, if one of their pedophile buddies goes to jail, they'll go break him out of jail. And then they go party with him on their farm. And shit, I had Rtviks telling me that 11-year-olds make perfect wives for grown men. And that there's nothing wrong with Prabhupada being 22 years old and having an 11-year-old wife. So any Rtvik that is okay with Prabhupada being a pedophile, then they're obviously pro-pedophile. Rtviks don't have a problem with Prabhupada saying that women have small brains, that women like to be raped, that women are 9 times lustier than men, that homosexuals come out of the ass of Lord Brahma, that homosexuals are demoniac. Rtviks have no problem saying all that. They have no problem with Prabhupada saying that blacks are ugly and they belong in the jungle and they shouldn't have been given freedom. And they don't have any problem with all that. They don't have a problem with any of that. They don't have a problem with anything that Prabhupada says. The only thing they have a problem with is these gurus. Other than that, Rtviks are right there. They're right there. 100%. Women have small brains? 100%. Women like to be raped? 100%. If Prabhupada said it, I'm with it 100%. Look, they don't. How are they not part of ISKCON? How are they not protecting pedophiles and pro all of that racism and sexism and all of that homophobia? They're right there. 100%. They're right there with them. Rtviks just want to play good cop, bad cop and say, well, those are the bad guys. Those are the bad gurus and we're the good enough gurus. And so, those are the bad enough gurus and we're the good enough gurus. But it's all the same fucking bullshit. If a beautiful woman does save it to arrange my prashad, I too would fall in love. Yeah, women aren't allowed to do anything. Yeah, it's yeah. How do you know? How do you know? How do you know that a Hare Krishna woman likes you in the Hare Krishnas? When there's a festival, she makes a plate of food for you. She gets you prasadam. That's how you know. I mean, I guess I don't know. That's. Regardless, she said she would have the kid whether he wanted to take responsibility or not. She still bows down to him on a daily. Yeah, that's how fucked up she is in the head. That's how screwed up Prabhupada's books are. You think, this one guy's got his brother. His brother is, a Devamrita Swami disciple now. He's been to India milking cows. Now he's Gita Nagari farm. They got him thinking just like her. 84-year-old guru. She falls in love with him. He's not smart enough or in control. He's not. So first of all, he's not who she thinks he is because he's not in control of his senses. She falls in love with him because he's in control of his senses, but he's not. That's all a scam. So she's fallen in love with someone that he's not. He's not even that person that she thinks he is, that she's fallen in love with. She's fallen in love with this idea that he's this guy who can control his senses and he has no sex desire and he has all this and he's all this. That's all bullshit. So she fell in love with someone who doesn't even exist because that's not even who he is. He's just a fake cosplaying fuck asshole. Pretending to be this holy man that she fell in love with. She fell in love with the guy that he's pretending to be. That's not even who he is. He's a fucking fraud. That's like falling in love with the carnival barker because you think that he's so good at being a carnival barker. Yeah, my boyfriend's a carnival barker. He's really good. He does throw the darts at the balloon. He makes friggin' $100 a day. He only works one day a week, but hey, he makes $100 a day, and all he has to do is stand there and go, step right up and throw the darts at the balloon. You should fall in love with that guy. Not that guy doesn't deserve love. He does. He's a carnival barker. And that's, at least he's honest. He's honestly saying, hey, throw a dart at the balloon. Maybe you'll win a prize. Maybe you won't. I don't know. Everyone's a winner, though. You'll walk away with a little thing like this. You might not win the teddy bear you want, but you'll get a little thing. Everyone's a winner. You get a little thing. At least he's got a job and he makes $100 a day. It's more than I could say for this fucking Rtviks Swami, who is a bullshitter. He is the bullshitter pretending to be a holy man who ends up fucking some woman and getting her pregnant. And then, this is fucking disgusting, man. I was disgusted before I started the show, and now that I know all this shit, more shit about him, I'm even more disgusted. And that's okay, because I get disgusted on every show. But I haven't even gotten to Giriraj yet. I haven't even really got to the shit I wanted to talk about, and I'm already an hour in. So fucking disgusting. I was going to show this video that I was talking about this other woman who I'm not even going to do that now. But you really got to go back and you got to watch my video where it says Hare Krishna child abuse victim speaks out. You got to go back and watch that. It's incredible. I was trying to make a little clip to make a little short, and what I'm talking about that I wanted to clip is too long, so I didn't make it. So I was going to show it. I was going to play a little bit of it here, but I'm not going to do that now because I want to get to Giriraj. and I got to show this video. And I just came across it, so I don't even know what it is, but I know it's great. But let me get to this. Sadly, she is too brainwashed to be saved, and owned by seductive. She may come to her senses. I mean, she's raising this kid, and she ain't got nothing. And ISKCON ain't helping her, and Rtviks gone, and she's struggling along. She may come to her senses and go, what the fuck did I do? And that's going to be really sad. It's going to be really sad. It's going to be really sad. She still has his picture on her altar still. Yeah, she's fucked up in the head. No, it was prominent features is what I said. She has prominent features. Same shit they tried to say about my daughter. Oh, your daughter is really overdeveloped. No, she's not overdeveloped. She's developing like an 11-year-old girl develops. It's like every 11-year-old girl develops, like every girl develops. It's not overdeveloped. She's developing. She's 11 years old. +50 years younger, big jugs, big bottoms, full makeup on, submissive, disabled. He's going to, look, a year from now, if he's still around in a year, he's going to go, what the fuck did I do? If he hasn't already. If he hasn't already said, this is all a bunch of bullshit. This chanting and everything was supposed to prevent me from doing this. Otherwise, why did I do it for 60 years just to end up at 84 with a woman and a kid when I could have done that when I was 40 or 30? My kid would be grown and I'd be with my wife and we'd be retired. And my pension, my Social Security, whatever, shit. His kid ain't gonna have shit and his wife ain't gonna have shit. If she's got his picture on her altar and she's doing her little friggin' thing to him, she ain't got no fucking future. Hopefully she gets out of this shit. The best thing that she could do is watch my video. Somebody tell her to watch my fucking videos, and she needs to go back to video 1, where I talk about how I got fucking sucked into this piece of shit cult, all the way through how I got out of it, and all the way up till today. That's what she needs to do. And watch Knitting Cult Lady, of course. That she needs to do that. The first thing she needs to do. She probably thinks she's going back to Godhead by having this kid and serving him. She's delusional. They're all delusional. She thinks that win a prize in $1,084,000. Hey, well, she won the prize. She won the prize. She stepped right up and she spun the wheel, and hey, it landed on 84-year-old guru husband. And she's like, oh, wow, I won. No, I don't think criminals join a cult. Criminals don't go, what cult can I get into? No, it's just normal people get into the cult and they become fucked up in the head and they start believing all this shit and they start doing fucked up things. That's my philosophy. That's my take. You don't have to be a criminal. You don't have to join a cult to be a criminal. You don't have to join a cult to be a child molester. You don't have to join a cult to have sex with young women at 84 years old. You can do that without a cult. You don't have to be in a cult to fast talk con people with a book in a parking lot with a shopping cart of fucking. There's people doing that all day with car speakers and this and that. There's con artists all over scamming people every day on the street, selling this, selling that, whatever. Selling timeshares, selling fake student loan things, and all kinds of stuff. You don't have to join a cult to rip people off, to scam people, to molest kids, to abuse women. You don't have to join a cult to do that. this cult is a fucking factory for pedophiles and misogynists and homophobics and all of that. Normal people walk in going, oh, what is this? I got a book. And they come out the other end after 6 months and they're like, I hate everybody. Everybody's a carmy. Everybody eats meat. Why isn't everybody chanting? Blah. Women are less intelligent. They have small brains and they like to get raped. And Ramananda Roy could touch little kids just because he was chanting. He bathed little girls and touched their privates. So he was either a dirty old man, which is the only answer, or he was some kind of spiritual holy man who could... Bullshit. He was a dirty old man. Giriraj Swami is the creme de la creme. He's on the top up there for sure. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get to him. We're gonna get to him in a minute. Well, let me get to this right now. So going back to my favorite webpage, this one, this Krishna 1008. So this is what it says. This came out. This is dated. This is the date on this is July 17. July 17. So here it says, there's no author on this. It doesn't say where this came from. It doesn't say who wrote it. It doesn't say when it was written. But it's just posted today. And so we don't know where this is coming. We don't know who's saying this. But I'm going to read it. And this is what it says. Silent abduction of Giriraj Swami. Okay, the silent abduction of Giriraj Swami. Various sources have confirmed that Giriraj Swami, one of the most veteran and respected ISKCON leaders, is being held in India in total isolation, deprived of communication devices and autonomy. This situation would have been triggered after the revelation of an emotional relationship with a disciple, prompting a strong scandal within the organization. Giriraj, who is over 80 years old, was abruptly transferred from the United States to India under the pretext of treating his health. Yes, because, of course, India is world-renowned for their health care. Much better health care in India than in the United States. They're renowned for their advancement of medical care, especially in the cases of dementia. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, but he was abruptly transferred from the United States to India under the pretext of treating his health, although it is suspected that the real goal is to silence the scandal and protect the institutional image. Close devotees denounced this act as institutional disappearance, fearing he will be kept isolated until his death to close the case and evade responsibilities. We demand his immediate release, respect for their dignity and transparency by ISKCON. Hiding the truth is not a solution. The community must not sacrifice compassion for reputation. We demand answers and do not allow anyone to suffer in solitude for a structure that prioritizes image over humanity. So this brings up a couple issues that I want to address here. One is the Giriraj issue. Is if this is true, so he's in isolation in India somewhere, so no one can contact him, no one can verify or deny anything, and just We don't know. Kind of like a Shelley Miscavige type thing, or, cults have been known to do that. I didn't know ISKCON was doing this now. I didn't know that ISKCON would take their gurus or anyone. I mean, if they can do this to a guru, do it to anyone. I mean, it'd be easier to do it to a non-guru than to a guru. I mean, your guru disappears one day. I mean, where's Giriraj? Where's Rtviks? Where's Jayapataka? Where's my guru? Oh, he's in India and he's ill. So we have him. He's in a hospital in India and he's under care. Oh, I didn't know. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, okay. So they can do that. They can do that to a guru like Giriraj. You think they could do that to just a regular disciple, just a regular devotee? Hey, we want you to fly into Mayapur for the festival. You're invited to the Mayapur festival. Oh, and then you're never heard from again. You go to the Mayapur festival and then no one ever sees you again. I don't know, maybe he was eaten by a tiger. Maybe a tiger got him. Maybe a dingo got my baby. Maybe he fell into the Ganges. We don't know. We haven't heard from him. So if Giriraj can just disappear, if a Swami, leader of ISKCON, can just disappear, and no one knows, who else can disappear? Who else has disappeared? I mean, we know that they can put bullets in your head if you're sleeping in a van on Canfield Avenue, half a mile from the temple in L.A. We know that. But now they just disappear. Gurus just disappear. Disciples can just disappear. This lady, this wife of Rtviks, how do we know she's not going to disappear one day? I don't know. She was walking. I saw her walking on the road. She was going to Navadweep. I don't know. I saw her in the back of a rickshaw. She was heading on down the road there. She was going towards Govardhan. No, I don't know what happened. She never got there? I don't know what happened. What happened to Solochan's kid? Found him drowned in a river, in a lake, in a pond. They shoot Solochan in the head, and then his kid ends up drowned. Well, how do you know they're not going to disappear Rtviks? And this lady ends up disappearing with her kid. What if they don't want her to be pregnant? And she ends up disappeared in Mayapur or wherever, Warsaw. Hear what I'm saying? Those of you that are still in this cult, those of you that just heard about, hey, there's this guy, he talks shit about Prabhupada and ISKCON. Some of you out there watching this video, you don't know about this shit. Because you're in your friggin' little fucking transcendental bliss world of, I don't know what. You don't know that Giriraj has disappeared. You don't know that Rtviks is 84 years old and banged and knocked up some disciple. I mean, come on, man. Knocked up a disciple? You make a movie about this. 84-year-old guru, holy man, knocks up his 35-year-old disciple with prominent features. You can't make this shit up. Giriraj is hiding in his cow shed in a deep forest or rural village with trucks. um, I don't know. I don't doubt this story. They probably are hiding him out. They probably are hiding him out. But let's take a look, just in honor of Giriraj. Let's take a look, because we don't know what's going on. We don't really know what's going on. But let's look at what our old friend Wikipedia has to say. Okay, so as I suspected, his name is not Giriraj Swami. His name is Glenn Teton. So Glenn was born September 13th, 1947. And at least it doesn't say that he appeared, okay? At least they got some sense that he didn't appear in this world. It didn't appear in this world like some demigod. He was born Glenn Philip Teton in 1947. He's an American Hindu author and initiating guru with a very highly respected position in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Well, not anymore. Not anymore. Okay, so Glenn is the only son of Alfred Teton, a Chicago lawyer. He was also appointed a judge. And in March of 1969, while studying at Brandeis University in Boston, he met Prabhupada. And after graduating, he accepted formal initiation from Prabhupada and received the name Giriraj Das. So it doesn't say what he was studying, which is interesting, because usually they like to say what they were studying, what he was studying, but it doesn't say what he was studying. It doesn't say what, or it doesn't say what kind of degree he had. So we don't know what. I find that interesting by its omission. In 1972, Giriraj was appointed by Prabhupada as president of ISKCON Bombay and a trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. So just within less than 3 years, he becomes a trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Probably because because he graduated from Brandeis University, but we don't know what he had a degree in. So within 3 years, he becomes the trustee of the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. And he's about 25, I guess, right? 22, 23, 24. He's like 24, 25 years old. He was involved with the acquisition of Bhaktivedanta Ashram in Govardhan, the Bhaktivedanta Hospice, the Vrindavan Institute of Palliative Care. He also taught at the Vrindavan Institute for Higher Education. In 1978, Giriraj took sannyas, the renounced order of life. So from 72 to 78, so in 6 years. So from 69 to 78. So in 9 years, 69. Sorry. So in 9 years, he was able to become the renounced order of life. He's not even 30 years old yet, right? He's like 29 because he was born in 47. Okay, whatever. So 47. He's 31. He's 31, and now he's in the renounced order of life. Okay, it doesn't say anything about him getting married or falling in love or having a girlfriend. Now maybe he did, maybe they just didn't want to put that in there. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't say. But it doesn't say anything about that. It just says he graduated. After graduating, he received formal initiation in 1969. And then in 1972, he was appointed by Prabhupada as president of ISKCON and the Book Trust. And he did these other things. And then he took sannyas. And he took sannyas. And he was appointed president of ISKCON's Board of Trustees. And in 1982, he was appointed ISKCON's governing body commission and oversaw the ISKCON activities in areas such as Bombay, Mauritius, South Africa, Spain, Portugal, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. And that's it. That's all it says. There are no updates since after 1982. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about anything. There's nothing. That's it. So definitely had a very what do you call it? A meteoric rise in the ISKCON. You know, he's initiated in '69. He meets Prabhupada in '69 and is initiated, and then the same year he's initiated, and then he becomes a sannyasi in just 3 years. No, did he become a sannyasi in 3 years? No. In just 3 years, he's appointed president of ISKCON Bombay and a trustee of the book trust, and he oversaw all this other stuff. Then in '78, he took sannyas. So you figure, like, Prabhupada, just in comparison, Prabhupada grew up a Hindu. He was taught everything by his father from a very young age, like 5, from birth, he was taught how to worship the deities, how to do everything. So he already had that training from when he was a child. He was doing the Rath Yatra cart. He knew all the prayers. He read from Bhagavad Gita. I'm sure he did all that from birth, just from being born in India, in Calcutta, in that family, growing up with his father and mother, living in that temple where they had the Radha Krishna temple where his parents lived, where he was born. Just from that, he already had all this knowledge of the Hindu religion, just growing up, just from being immersed in the culture. That's his culture. Then he meets Bhaktisiddhanta. He starts reading all these books of Lord Chaitanya, and he starts reading the books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he starts reading the books of Bhaktisiddhanta and the Goswamis and Krishna Das Kaviraj. He starts studying all this other stuff. And then in 1959 or 1952 or whenever it was, in the 50s, sometimes in the 50s, when Prabhupada's like 60, 59, 60 years old, something like that, Prabhupada gets sannyas. And there's that picture of Prabhupada when he got sannyas. And he's like 50-something years old. And he's standing there with his 2 other godbrothers. Prabhupada. That's Prabhupada. Took him 59 years, immersed in Hinduism, to become a sannyas, to get the renounced order of life. This guy, Glenn, old Glenn here, old smiling Glenn, he grows up in Chicago, goes to Boston University, Brandeis University in Boston, and in just a short 9 years, is given the renounced order of life, the same thing that took Prabhupada 59 years to accomplish. Glenn was able to accomplish it in just 9. What took Prabhupada 59 years to accomplish, Glenn here was able to do it in just 9. You want me to believe that? You want me to believe that? You want me to believe that this guy, this Glenn Philip Teton from Chicago, Illinois, deserved to be called Giriraj Swami after 9 years of cosplaying as a 16th century Bengali, transgendered Bengali? I mean, if he got that after 9, what do I get after 20? What do I get after 20? If he got that after 9. In those first couple of years, what do you really know in those first couple of years? Do they even count that first year? Your first year in the Hare Krishnas. I mean, you're doing what you're doing, but do you really even know what's going on? Glenn Giriraj is a superstar Swami. That's why you can do it in 9 years. Some guys did it in less. Some guys did it in less than 9 years. Tamal Krishna and who's at Gaur Govinda. He got first initiation, second initiation, and sannyas initiation all on the same initiation. Prabhupada was just like, go. He got all three. I'm pretty sure it was all three. Because Prabhupada's like, you're like me. You grew up like me. Why are we messing around? I'm gonna initiate you, and you're gonna come back in a year, and I'm gonna initiate you again. You're gonna come back in a year. I'm like, no, we're just get it done now. This is friggin' insanity, man. Friggin' insanity. So now this guy, this Giriraj, so his story is he's got dementia. He's got dementia. And I know I'm just getting to this, but they're saying he's got dementia, and that's why all this happened. That dementia, he doesn't know what's happening. Evidently, he's got, and they say he's been hospitals and diagnosed and the whole thing. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I mean, that happens, and I don't fault him for it. It's not. It's a health issue, and that's what happens. And I feel sorry for the guy. He's going through it. I really feel sorry for him that he's going through it as a Hare Krishna, because if he wasn't a Hare Krishna, he'd be back in the U.S. and his family would be taking care of him. I'm sure he's got some nieces and nephews somewhere. They're like, "Hey, Uncle Glenn is not feeling so well. We should go visit him in the home or in the hospital, and they care for him." And go visit him. Maybe take him out on the weekends. Maybe go on a day thing. Not isolated in India. What is he getting in? I know how these Hare Krishnas live in India. I don't know what they think they're giving him in India, because they're not giving him health care. I mean, I don't know what kind of health care he's getting. I don't know what they're doing for him. The whole thing is just crazy. The whole thing is I can't even believe what the things that I'm reading. But now I come across this video just a few minutes ago, just right before I came on. I'm like looking up Giriraj because I wanted to have some items here for you, and this pops up, and I'm like, oh, what is this? And I had never seen this before, and it's a couple months old, but I gotta check it out, and so we can all check it out together, and then this will be it. But this guy's really good, and I've recommended him as well. He's an old Hare Krishna. He was a sannyasi. He was a Prabhupada disciple, and now he's an anti-cult expert, like me. Although I'm not an expert, but he's really good. And let's see what he has to say here. Let me get this going.
Namaste. My name is Henry Jolicoeur. I'm a French-Canadian hypnotherapist that has worked with thousands of clients, and one of my special field of interest is brainwashing and mind control by cults. Today, I would like to talk about the case of Swami Bhaktivedanta, the leader and the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, who passed away in 1977. Swami Bhaktivedanta introduced thousands of people to one aspect of Hinduism. He has helped thousands of people to give up drugs and alcohol, and he has helped feed millions of people as 2025. So this, in many ways, is a very great man. The problem now is that the leaders of the Hare Krishna movement are preaching around the world that Swami Bhaktivedanta was perfect, pure, and full of wisdom. And whatever he said till the very last moment of his life was pure wisdom. And many of those Hare Krishna followers at the present moment are just fanatics that will bow down to the statue of Swami Bhaktivedanta every day in whatever temple they are around the world. And I say that Swami Bhaktivedanta had also a very dark side. And as far as I'm concerned, that side came out especially at the end of his life, 1976, 1977. I truly believe that he was senile, suffering from some form of dementia. One of his main disciples at the time, Tamal Krishna, said to other member of ISKCON at the time that Swami Bhaktivedanta was senile. It would be extremely dangerous for anyone to be brainwashed in thinking that what he said at the end of his life made any sense. I discovered these quotes quite recently, reading the Facebook page of my friend Henry Rtviks, who has written a dozen books on the history of the Hare Krishna movement. And this quote absolutely shocked me. Swami Bhaktivedanta said in 1977, the Sudras, meaning the lower class of man, is to be controlled always. They are never to be given freedom. Just like you in America. The blacks were slaves, they were under control, and since you have given them equal rights, they are disturbing, always creating fearful situations. Those black, they are uncultured and drunkards. What training do they have, those blacks? And now you have given them equal rights. It would have been better to keep them under control as slaves, to have given them sufficient food, sufficient clothing, and no more than that. And they would have been satisfied, he said. Obviously, Swami Bhaktivedanta never understood the suffering of slavery. He never investigated to find out that 13 million black people, men, women, and children, were taken, stolen from Africa and taken to different parts in North America and South America. And 15% at least died during the trip because it was so cruel, inhumane. These words could have been better in the mouth of the great wizard of the Ku Klux Klan than a so-called Swami, a guru from India, who's supposed to have in his possession the greatest wisdom in the world.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
80% of what Swami Bhaktivedanta wrote about women in his books are denigrating, calling them less intelligent, that they had to be subservient to the husband. Within his own community, he recommended that the girls learn to cook and get married when they're 16-year-old. He did not encourage.
Prabhupada says Prabhupada's wife was 11 and he was 22. And there are places in the books where Prabhupada says 11-year-old girls, the gopis. The gopis were 11. And he says the gopis make the best wives. Dhamma Ghosh tried to convince me that Prabhupada's marriage to an 11-year-old girl was perfect. That 11-year-old girls are perfect for a 25-year-old man or a 30-year-old man. So this, I disagree with this guy on a couple things. I don't think that Prabhupada was senile and had dementia because of what he said about the blacks and the Negroes, and I've known of that quote for a long time, and I've repeated that quote on my show, and it is not it does not display a symptom of dementia to me because it's in line with everything else he's ever said about blacks and Negroes. So I disagree with him about the Prabhupada having dementia. Prabhupada may have had dementia, I don't know. But as far as that quote being indicative of senility or dementia, I don't know. I don't agree.
And a girl to become astronauts. When he talked about the Native American people, he said the Native American, they could not do anything with the land. We had to wait for the white people to come and build America. He did not understand anything about the suffering, the Holocaust of the native people in North and South America. And now there is possibly 100 little gurus in ISKCON that bow down every day to the statues of Swami Bhaktivedanta and preach all around the world that Swami Bhaktivedanta was perfect and very wise. And 2 of those people are probably an example of how dishonest some of those Hare Krishna leaders have become. Here you see an initiation ceremony by 2 of the main gurus of ISKCON. One is Giriraj, Glenn Philip Teton, and this guy who pretend to be a sannyasi, pretend to be a celibate monk, just had an affair that is now all over the internet. He is an hypocrite, dressed in the sacred orange robe that has had affair, an affair, an affair, one after another for 50 years.
it was the last day. It was during the day. It was unexpected. I mean, I was just going there to see him because I missed him and chant with him, thinking I'm not even going to get to hug him. But we were alone and in front of the deities. And yeah, I mean, that was the last time. He just embraced me, and I mean, I didn't even have time to talk. He was just so happy to see me. And then when we did talk, he just told me how much he loved me. We told each other how much we loved each other, missed each other. And I wasn't, I wasn't expecting to do anything, but it just went that way.
Okay. Okay, I've had enough of this shit. This is friggin' the cult of Harold and Maude. These old guys. He's 77. Giriraj is 77 years old. He's having affairs, and evidently, this other guy is saying that he's had many girlfriends. He's had. You can go watch. I'll put the link of this video in the video in my video. I'm gonna send it right here just so that if you want to click on it and you can watch, I guess. So I don't know what he's saying about the dementia, if Giriraj has dementia or what. I mean, who's a doctor? I mean, I'm not a doctor. Who? They say they took him to a doctor and that's what he's got. That he's got some kind of dementia. And if he does, I wish him the best. I wish him care, and I wish him the best. I wish his family from the U.S., whoever, whatever family he has left and that's in the U.S., they should go get him, take him back to the U.S., get him some real care, and and that's what I would like to see. That's what I think should happen to him. The girl, I mean, it's all a big mess. One day she's going to go, what did I do? I had sex with my 77-year-old guru. I mean, come on. If you're sincerely on a spiritual path, are you thinking about having sex with your guru? Some old man? Some 80-year-old man, 84-year-old man, 77-year-old man? Because you think he's taking you back to Godhead? You might as well go look for some rich guy, because he's going to give you money. He's going to give you what you want. That's what you want, right? You're just having sex to get what you want, whether it's a ticket to Vaikuntha, or it's a ticket to friggin' Switzerland, or it's a ticket to Rome, or Beverly Hills, so you can go up Rodeo Drive. What do you really want from this old man, from this 84-year-old man, from this 77-year-old man? What's he gonna give? What's he giving you? Like that one lady said, he's giving me the kingdom of God. He's giving me the kingdom of God. You really think this guy's giving you the kingdom of God? You think this Giriraj guy who can't keep his dick in his pants is going to take you to Vaikuntha, lady? He's taking you to Krishna Loka. He can't even control himself, and you think that he's your guru? I mean, aren't you reading the books where it says that a guy like this is not your guru? Aren't you reading Prabhupada's books? Prabhupada says that this kind of guy is not a guru. Why are you falling in love with a 77-year-old man? Because he says that he can give you the highest stage of love of God, of Baba Rasa Leela, whatever the fuck. That's why you're having sex with him? Why are these women having sex with these old guys? I mean, I'm in a part of the world where young girls are having sex with old guys, but they're getting something out of it. They're getting iPhones, and they're getting friggin' Versace bags, and they're getting trips to friggin' Australia, and trips to friggin' Switzerland, and trips around the world. What's this guy going to do? What's friggin' Giriraj going to do? She's having sex with him because she wants something. What does she want? She want a kid from this guy? Is it that lady that's having sex with Rtviks and about to marry Rtviks Swami and is pregnant by him? Is she going to have a kid with him? Why is she doing that? What does she get out of it? She wants to have sex life and have a husband. I don't know about an 84-year-old guru is the perfect catch. First of all, he ain't going to be around to support you. He ain't going to be around to support the kid. He ain't leaving you nothing. He ain't leaving the kid nothing. He can't do anything for you now. You're marrying a friggin' bum. Why? An 84-year-old guy who doesn't own shit. Because you think he's taking you back to friggin' Krishna Loka? You think he's gonna take you back to Vrindavan? Because now you're the wife of the guru? You fucking idiot. You fucking idiot. I ain't saying she's a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no brahmachari. Why did she fall in love with some brahmachari? Why didn't she fall in love with some 35-year-old brahmachari godbrother of hers, and they could both worship Giriraj together, or they could both worship Rtviks together? Why didn't Rtviks say, "Hey, if you're having feelings for me, how about you have feelings for one of your godbrothers who's single and he's your age, and maybe he'd like to have a family? Why don't you have sex with him? Why don't you think about that?" No. Oh, you want to have sex with me? Sure. Hey, no problem. The fuck these people, man. Taking advantage of these women, fucking up their lives, getting them pregnant, and then dying. This is a fucking disgusting piece of shit cult, man. You fucking Hare Krishnas are disgusting. Disgusting. You talk about karmis like karmis are like, oh, Joe Six-Pack and, oh, Hamburger Sam and whatever. Like we're such horrible people because we eat hamburgers and we go to Las Vegas and put a couple coins in a slot machine, or we buy a lottery ticket, or we go out on a date and have sex. Oh, we're so horrible, huh? Oh, we're so horrible. But look at what your gurus are doing. Getting women pregnant, and then at 84 years old, and then they're gonna croak and leave the woman with a child, a fatherless child. And you all think that's cool. Oh, Joe Six-Pack, he goes and drinks beer after work. What a fucking disgusting karmi. Meanwhile, your guru knocking up his disciple, getting her pregnant, and then he's 84 years old. He's the fucking disgusting one, not the guy drinking a beer after going to work so he can get a paycheck to provide for his family. And he wants to have a beer after work. And you got the nerve to look down on that guy while you're worshiping a piece of shit guru, laying down in front of him, washing his feet, washing his underwear, and doing all that shit, and looking down on a hardworking man who has a beer after work, who's providing for his family and raising his kids right. He's not 84 years old fucking a 35-year-old girl getting her pregnant. He ain't doing that, you fucking disgusting pieces of shit. Pure devotee. Holy man. Holy full of shit. Fucking up all these people's lives. Not just the disciple that's pregnant now, But all the disciples that he had, that he was telling them, I'm a pure devotee. I talk to Krishna. I see Krishna. I see Leela. I see the demigods coming down. I'm Lord Chaitanya. I dance really slow. I dance really slow because I'm ecstatic, transcendental bliss. Look at me. I'm Radhanath Swami. Oh, fuck. Ah, that's fucking disgusting. Fucking disgusting. I'm done for the day. I'm done. I'm done for the day, man. You fucking Hare Krishna fucking gross me out. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I can't leave yet because I got to tell you about how Rtviks are worse than child molesters. Let's finish up with this real quick. Because if that wasn't bad enough, okay? The idea that a Rtvik is someone who just wants to live a spiritual life and have a guru that's not going to fall down and have sex with their 84-year-old disciple and get them pregnant. Oh, a Rtvik is so bad, he just wants a real guru. Okay? He wants a real guru. Not one of your ISKCON fake, phony, bogus, child molesting, predator, incestual, whatever the fuck you want to call your goddamn gurus. The Rtviks just don't want one of those, okay? They don't want one of your fucking Giriraj, Trivikram, Bhagavan, Rameshwar, Harikesh, Jayatirtha, Hridayananda, Tamal Krishna, Bhaktividyapurna, all those fucking people. They don't want those people and people like them. Is that so bad? They don't want a guru that's going to fall down and have sex with their female disciple or their male disciple or their male disciple's son. Okay? They don't want gurus that do those things. Is that so bad? Well, according to ISKCON, it is, because this is what he says. He says here, I have to find it. It was on the same page as the other thing I was reading, so I kind of got lost in it. But so he says here, he says the fact that you are a Rtvik blasphemer of Srila Prabhupada is every reason for everyone to disbelieve anything you say. You are a servant of concoction, and so what you speak is just more concoction. You have disowned Srila Prabhupada and are taking shelter of Rtviks who indulge in deplorable blasphemy of Srila Prabhupada and every bona fide guru in ISKCON, along with all sincere devotees who outright reject your Rtvik lies, filth, and blasphemy. You are shameless. So he's saying that there are bona fide gurus in ISKCON. I'd like to know who. Because every one of them has either done something wrong, molested a kid, protected a predator, protected people that have murdered devotees in cars, arranged for the murder of a devotee in cars, in a van, protected countless deviants and pedophiles. Come on, let's just say. So which one of your gurus hasn't done any of those things? Which one? I don't know. I haven't been able to find one. So he says here, if a Rtvik guy were to come to pass flyers in Mayapur, there are clear provisions that everyone is aware of to remove him from ISKCON property. The same cannot be said about child abusers. ISKCON and Jayapataka Swami view Rtviks as a greater threat than child sexual abusers. And so then this other guy says, he says, child molesters deeply hurt children. Rtviks tear open Srila Prabhupada's heart by falsely accusing him of the very serious philosophical deviation of changing the eternal unchangeable law of disciplic succession. Both are criminals, but the Rtviks are worse because they attack Srila Prabhupada's heart. So ISKCON is saying that Rtviks are worse than child molesters because they attack the heart of Prabhupada, who's been dead for almost 50 years. So while child molesters harm children sexually and physically, that doesn't even compare to the harm of speaking badly about a dead man who's been dead for 50 years. Speaking badly about a dead man who's been dead for 50 years is much more criminal. It's a criminal. It's a crime. It's actually a crime. It's a crime that's worse than physically assaulting and sexually abusing a child. Just speaking badly about Prabhupada, what I'm doing right now, speaking out against Prabhupada, is worse than being a child molester. I'm actually worse than a child molester. That's how ISKCON looks at it. Because I'm attacking the heart of Srila Prabhupada. While child molesters just harm children and rape them. They rape little girls and rape little boys and physically scar them for life. But that's nothing compared to the harm of speaking badly about Srila Prabhupada. And I'm going to end it right there. Because that right there tells you everything you need to know about this disgusting cult. Molest a child, say something bad about Prabhupada, oh fuck. So I want to end it with that. That's how they think. Okay, so just remember that. Remember that molesting children is not nearly as bad as speaking bad about Prabhupada. Speaking bad about Prabhupada is a crime. It's criminal, and it's a crime that is worse than molesting children. Now, we know how child molesters are treated in jail. If there's not anyone worse off in jail than a child molester. The worst people in jail that have done the worst crimes, they don't like child molesters. ISKCON thinks that if you talk bad about Prabhupada, you're worse than a child molester that other criminals don't like. That's how bad it is to talk bad about Prabhupada. So just keep that in mind, how these friggin' cult freaks think. All right? 84 years old, knocking up a 35-year-old woman, getting her pregnant, doesn't give a fuck. He's not thinking about the woman and the kid that she's going to have to raise after he's gone because he's 84. He doesn't give a fuck about that. He doesn't give a fuck about the woman, doesn't give a fuck about the kid. The institution doesn't give a fuck about the woman. They don't give a fuck about the kid. And they don't give a fuck about the guru either. All they care about is that cash, that he represents a bunch of cash. This is a fucking disgusting piece of shit cult. So remember that. Child molesting is not, it's not a big deal for them. Oh yeah, it's unfortunate. But it doesn't compare to speaking out against Prabhupada. Speaking out about Prabhupada, that's it. They'll shoot you in a van on Canfield Avenue. And then have a party afterwards. But speak out about the guru that's molesting, that's having sex with his 35-year-old daughter or 35-year-old disciple, or kick the guy out of the temple that molested my daughter. You can't do that. Can't do that. That's how disgusting this cult is. And if someone comes in my chat and says, "Who's this guy? Why is he speaking? Why is he always speaking out about the Hare Krishnas?" Because you fucking deserve to be spoken out. You deserve to be exposed. You're disgusting fucking freaks. You're disgusting fucking freaks. So that's the class for today. Let's ring the bell because class is over. So we're gonna ring the bell. That's done for that. And these guys make me laugh. Retards are us. Yep, that's it. Retards are us. And so that's. I want to thank everybody for joining in today. I hope you learned something. Those of you that are watching, the Hare Krishnas that are watching, you come in and want to see what I got to say. I hope you fucking learned something. I hope you fucking learned something. You know, and some of these cult people, they say, you shouldn't talk. These cult experts, you shouldn't talk bad to them, and you should show sympathy and empathy and all that. I've been through it. All that being nice to me when I was in the cult, everybody being nice to me, it didn't help me. It made me stay in longer. I was in for 20 years. I wish somebody would have sat down with me and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I needed someone to say, "What the fuck are you doing?" None of my friends they didn't have the balls to stand up and go, "Hey, the fuck you doing?" They tell me now they wanted to. They wanted to say something. They saw all the signs. But they were like, "You're my friend. What am I going to do?" Well, I'm not your friend. That's what I'm telling you. You're in a fucking cult. What the fuck you doing? No demon head eating the moon. I wish someone would have told me. The fuck, Mike? Ain't no fucking demon head eating the moon. I would have went, well, yeah, there is a demon head eating the moon. We just can't see it because we don't have spiritual vision. They would have said, "What the fuck is wrong with you, spiritual vision? There's no demon head eating the moon. The moon is real. It's right there. There's no demon head. There's no invisible demon head eating it." I wish someone would have said that to me. Fucking demon head eating the moon. I wish someone would have said that to me. What the fuck is wrong with you? There's no goddamn demon head eating the moon. I would have said, "You're right. There is no demon head eating the moon." But no one's. My own parents wouldn't say anything to me. They're just like, "Oh, you have to do that Krishna stuff again? Okay." That's why people end up in a good cult for 20 years. Because no one knows how to deal with it. No one knows how to sit there and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" That's what people need. I'm old school. I'm old school cult deprogrammer. People need to hear that shit because they don't hear that. That's the one thing they don't hear. The one thing they don't hear is, the fuck is wrong with you? I ain't fucking dancing around. You get pissed off and you leave, fuck, go ahead and leave. You're in the cult anyway. You're already in the fucking cult. So you bounce out and you don't want to hear the truth. So what? What do I care? You're already in it. You're going through the shit I was. I did my time. I know how it's going to end. I know how your story is going to end. It's going to end the same way everybody's story ends. Terrific, Rob. Look at his story. Look how his story's ending. Giriraj, look how his story's ending. I already know. I already know how your story ends. You're the one who's all confused. You're the one that ain't got a clue. But you keep watching, and maybe you'll come to your senses. Just keep watching, you'll come to your senses. So, everybody out there, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. My views and everything are going through the roof. People are turning in. They want to know more about cults. And I guess, Hare Krishnas are checking it out. So that's good. Hopefully more and more people will be warned and people will be helped. We get people out, keep people from joining. And there's a lot of work to do. So I want to thank everybody who's helping out. Like, share, and subscribe. Please hit the like button. That really helps a lot because then it gets the videos shown more places. So if you hit that like button, I really appreciate it. Please, everybody have great luck, great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon, and some great luck. And here, of course, is the closing credits where you get to see 20 years of Mike as a Hare Krishna. Here we go. Thanks, everybody.